Hello, hello. Hi. Welcome to the Heart's Frontier. Fix my hair. Welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate Graham. And if this is the first time that you're joining us, then just welcome to this lovely little space that we curate here. I do oracle readings, I do tarot, I do psychic work, intuitive work. I teach intuition development. I teach energy practices. And in my past life, in this lifetime, you would have called me a relaxologist, as I have tons of healing modalities I have learned over the years to help with relaxation. And my most recent passions are shamanism and hypnotherapy. So lots of things going on here. If you are interested in looking at the Empath Energetics program, we are still welcoming people for the round 5. And I have special news that I'm going to be announcing more fully later in a separate video. But I've really just been going with the flow timing wise on this round for Empath Energetics and totally trusting in that. And I'm really excited. We've already got a few people interested, one person for sure in. And in a dream, I had this come to me, but I hadn't really followed up on it. And so I wanted to make it known and clear, but I also wanted to wait until it felt certain in my mind as well. So sometimes we receive a piece of intuition or a dream to our heart, and we actually don't bring it up to the mind because we need to sort through it ourselves, keep it sacred for a moment or two. And that's what I was doing. So what I will announce later, and what is very exciting to actually kind of pre-drop and kind of hint to, I guess, is that I am opening up for one scholarship for this Empath Energetics program. I just feel inspired to do this because I know that finances hold people back from being able to invest in their journey in a way that really supports them. And that it's also a really easy first excuse and belief to stick to. And at the same time, I also understand there are many people who feel that they're in very legitimate situations where they're going to be unable to cover the whole course. And so if this is a program that's interesting to you and you feel you would benefit from a scholarship, then I will welcome you to sign up and to apply for that. And I'll be giving you the details of that in another video. So check my YouTube, check my Instagram. I'm at Nomad Named Kate on Instagram. And now I'm going to get started into a collective energy reading. So I'm just going to let the Side Chicks Facebook group know that I'm here because I do love giving them a heads up. I like being in that group a lot. So let's let them know. Live Oracle now. Great. Okay. So, hey, Alexandra, welcome. So I'm going to start with our collective energy reading for the week. And then if anyone has any oracle questions they would like me to answer for themselves, you can feel free to go right ahead. And you know what? I decided just now, I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. That way, if anyone has questions there, they can get through. Okay. Live. And I will say collective energy reading. I'm in a very sing-songy mood today. And I'm quite a fan of that. I'm quite liking that. I feel like for me, what I get this going here. Okay, welcome in Instagram, already live with YouTube. So what I have felt for the last few weeks is that energetically in the collective of people who watch my channel and who are linked up to me, if you're seeing this right now, you're part of the collective that I read for. I try not to read the entire collective of the entire world, just simply because it's extra energy output that they don't necessarily, it's not actually needed. I do that work in my spare time, in my private time. But what I've been feeling in our collective is a resurgence and like a relief in our self-worth wounds and the things that we have been the way that we have been viewing ourselves, the way that we have perceived ourselves now growing, and now being able to see a new version of self coming through. And it may be someone that you have, in the back of your mind, dreamed that you were, or that you have felt capable of being. But in the last few weeks, it's like certain things have come up to test whether or not you're willing to actually commit to this new identity. And I don't want to say entirely new identity, because I don't think it's really fair to leave behind all these past selves, but it's like a new chapter of yourself and a new chapter of being. So I'm really excited to do a reading today, because I feel like some of that is clearing now. And I don't think there's going to be the same type of density that carries with us for the next couple weeks at least. And this is how things work, right? We go up, we go down. If you would like an empath oracle reading, or any type of oracle reading right now, a live oracle, just feel free to write in your question. Right now, I'm going to pull for the week and see what's going on. I'm getting called to earth magic already, and to animal spirits. So already I can say that it's a really, really solid week for connecting to nature, and also connecting to your true nature, these things, these parts of you that are undeniable. And I was writing recently about this feeling of, once you know what's on your heart, once you know something that is true, that is deep, the type of thing that gives you a goosebumps, once you know that, it's very difficult to unknow that. And a lot of our suffering and anguish comes from denying that which we already know in some aspect of ourselves, or at least that's what I've found. Let me know if you're watching the replay, or if you're watching in the replay on either, if you're watching live, let me know whether that's something that you have experienced, where you have had some sort of knowing, intuition, kind of like, oh, I think this might be my way forward, or I think I might have to leave this one thing behind, or, I feel called in this other direction. And yet there's a gap time, right? There's a gap time to having the idea and then fulfilling it, actually making it manifest, and bringing it into your physical reality. And in that gap time, you can have a lot of discomfort, because you're actually kind of against the grain of what your spirit and your soul has already dropped down in truth for you, and it has already connected you to. So this is a message as well to get us started. Is, it is not easy once you know something, once you have a feeling, it is not easy to go back from that. And so anytime you watch yourself resisting or pulling back, it's important to address that, and address why, and not waste your time, and also not go full force on it. There's usually resistances because of the way we've been conditioned to live, or our fears, right? Our fears really indicate how we move back from things. And so I would ask you a question, all to reflect on this delightfully, it's a delightfully gray Sunday actually here in Scotland, but I quite like that, because I have the fire on, and it's this kind of cozy grayness. And these gorse trees outside, they're like these big thorny bushes outside of my place, have these such fragrant and bright yellow flowers. They're really sweet. They're almost like sweet vanilla fragrance. And you can eat them on a salad and things. They're kind of bitter actually to eat. I don't mind them, but and they're so lush, and they speak to me a lot, but I haven't really brought it up here. I tend to only talk about my outside surroundings when it feels relevant to the week. But this gorse tree, I think, is a really beautiful thing to reflect upon. It's like in this thorny, spiky, somewhat resilient, hardy, strength-finding kind of plant. We have an abundance of bright yellow, fragrant, sweet flowers. And in a way, it's almost like the flowers coat all the thorns. And so it's like dazzling, but yet you're still protected. And so what I'm seeing is, what I keep seeing is, it's interesting. It's someone like walking into a room where lots of people are waiting for them. And so this might be in any kind of field of your life. It may be that you have friends who are like waiting to feel in contact with you, but this could also be career-wise, that there's many people waiting for exactly what you have to bring, and your lightest version of self. There's like a whole room of people. And I see you wearing sunglasses. So this is just a metaphor, okay? But I see you wearing sunglasses, walking into this room of people, and wearing your sunglasses as your protection, so you can be scanning the room, so you can be seeing everything that goes on. And these are your thorns in a way. It's like your protective sense. And you do scan and you do observe, and yet everyone sees you as, your light, your coolness, your, whatever, your celebrity in this kind of example. And they're all waiting for you to just be exactly yourself. They're not waiting to harm or hurt you in any way. And so carrying through that belief, let's see what these animals are saying. And then I'll get into a little bit of live personal oracle readings, anyone who wants to ask. And if you weren't here in the beginning, and you might not go back and watch, I just wanted to mention that later today, I'm going to release a video announcing the Empath Energetics Scholarship I've decided to open up. And we do have a couple people kind of like in thinking about the Empath Energetics program. I understand it is an intensive thing to say yes to. There's no rush on people. We do have one sign up, and I'll wait until the group comes together to actually start this next round, and just totally trusting in the timing of it all, which is really fun for me. The Kate of a few years ago totally would have struggled with that. The Kate of today is like, everything happens in its right timing, and it always does. I'm really looking forward to starting this next round, but I'm also not in some great rush or urgency to make sure that it goes exactly how my mind would tell me I would like it to go. So I'm really looking forward to welcoming in the next group. And one of the challenges I know people have with the Empath Energetics program is looking at the finances and going, I'm not worth that. And so I'm hoping that because we've gotten to the end of what I've been saying is sort of this collective doubt of self-worth and this belief that we are not capable maybe of bringing ourselves to the energy that we want to, the way that we see ourselves. I'm hoping that this is shifting a little bit so that people can say yes to themselves if they've been thinking, if they're on the line, if they watch this stuff or they look at me and they go, oh, I really want to work with her, but I'm not quite sure. That empath program sounds good, but it also sounds like a lot. It's almost like the first objection becomes finances. So I'm opening up the scholarship also as a way to support the idea that some people really deserve this, and it's just not in their budget at that time. And also to remind you that I always do payment plans if people need to space things out to make it easier to take the program. It is a life-changing program if you apply yourself to it, and if you are honest in your intention to grow. And so it is really clear to me that the next people who are going to take this are people who are really ready for change. And what I've also felt is that there is going to be a lot of physical change. So there's going to be image transformation. So perhaps along the lines of weight loss or style transformation coming into your own personal aesthetic. But also I see physical health transformations, which is great because that's not always a large focus of the Empath Energetics program. And yet it's a deep desire of mine to help people deeply transform their physical body as well, especially in healing. So that is, enough about Empath Energetics for now. We have Swan Spirit, which I love because Swan is who came to me when I first started the Empath Energetics program, because it's like I really feel I take people under the wing, but it's under the wing of a swan. And it says, time for a deep dive. Time for a deep dive. So this is what's on the docket this week. It's time to get really real. This is not an energy right now of slowing down or of letting yourself be pulled back or of hiding. This is not an energy of hiding. The only way you could hide is by wearing sunglasses, but you're still entering the room, right? So whatever little protection you need, bring it with you, but you're going, you're going, and there's not an option. Swan Spirit says time for a deep dive. And this is internally as well. A deep dive internally for a few months could change your life forever. This is something that I've done many times in life. I've gone all in for a certain stretch of time to really deeply reflect on something, to focus my healing energy on something, and have been forever changed from that dedication, from that focus. And that is why I also build an intensive, 4-month program. We have a container. It's a time that likely would serve you for many, many, many years to come, perhaps your whole lifetime. We also have Porcupine Spirit. What you think you know, you are only just scraping the surface of. Time for a beginner mind. This is also a thing actually that's been coming up is understanding that you and your fears are only acting from what you currently know, and you know very little. And we all know very little. There's so much information for us to know out in the world. It is much smoother, much more honest. Hi, Svetlana. Is much more honest to admit to ourselves that we don't know as much as we think we know, and then to embrace learning from that point forward. And it's sort of like the Fool energy as well. The Fool energy in tarot speaks to me a lot, and it's very similar to this. Okay, please ask your oracle questions because I am going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes or so. And so ask your free oracle questions if you wish, and I will get to them as soon as I'm done this collective reading. So this week, we also have Rainbow Blessings and Ocean, which is ebb and flow. Also, I just want to say, hey, thanks, YouTube. I have 3 people watching right now and 3 likes, and that means you're all digging the vibe and you're showing me the love, and that's like really sweet. I just wanted to be, just so thankful. And if you're watching the replay, go and hit the like now because you're obviously enjoying this enough to still be here. So I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so thank you for your questions, Svetlana. I will totally get to that. Rainbow blessings and ocean ebb and flow. And in a sense, you almost see it's like a continuation, right? And this rainbow then turns into sunshine. And what I see is that there's actually a lot of positive energy towards the ways that we are looking to change right now. And if you are going to deny yourself, then you're actually going to you're going to come to a place where you put the clouds in and cover up what is actually possible for you. And so rainbow blessings and ebb and flow is like, make sure that you're staying in a sense of cycling energy, trusting yourself, but also assessing where you are still lacking trust, right? Because there is naturally going to be forces of resistance. If blessings are in your natural path right now and it's, in alignment with you, then when you have this ocean ebb and flow, it's saying sometimes you're going to ebb, right? And sometimes it's going to flow. So sometimes you're going to be pulled back, sometimes you're going to be pushed forward. And it's about working with this cycle and continuing to see the blessings in both sides of that, instead of every time we feel retracting energy going, oh my gosh, all my blessings, I need to chase right after that. That's the force that we really don't need. These blessings are natural. They're in our birthright, and they're already coming through you and coming to seek you. Clara, you're going to have to be more clear about your question because I don't know what that question is, what it means. So feel free to ask me oracle questions. Svetlana, I'm going to get to yours in a minute. And I'm just going to read these other oracle cards these are Prism oracle cards for our week ahead. If you are just joining now, you may want to go back, and if you end up liking this vibe, you may want to go back and listen to the beginning of this collective energy reading. There's been lots of things going on message-wise today. So we have confidence, which, hi, sunglasses. This is like the thing I was just talking about and what I've been focusing on this whole time. So no surprise, this is a week for trusting your sense of confidence and actually building it, actively building it. Not letting it just be a passive thing that sometimes hits you. You wake up and you're like, oh, I don't hate my hair today. I guess I feel okay. And then you just allow that to be the only confidence. It's like you're going to keep nurturing that. And the more you do, the more you're actually going to be in line with these blessings as well. We also have pain and isolation. And this is what I see as part of the ebb and flow. It's like you're going to go into this room that I was talking about, where everyone is waiting for you and everything is ready for you. And there's like a feast almost ahead, and there's like cameras flashing. You have your sunglasses on. And as soon as you're done in that environment, you don't need to worry. You just exit, you go home, and you be quiet, right? But it is still important to be entering the room and then taking also that hermit, that cave time. And again, it's like we have these blessings and we can be seeing how much is possible for us and how we can move forward. And at the same time, we want to make sure that when we're feeling those pullbacks and these sort of retreating type of moments, that we actually be in our pain, because blessings are sort of these, and joys and expansion are like the opposite energy to our pain. So you actually do need to be dealing with your suffering and pain and things. I think those types of things are much better done with support in the spirit realm. And so if you are interested in working with me with hypnotherapy or with shamanic journeying, with oracle work or any of the above, joining Empath Energetics would be a great way to do that. But you could also work with me one-on-one if it was just a matter of sort of like a one-off session. To actually deal with the pain that's going on means you can kind of remove the dust and the clutter at the bottom of the closet and have more light as well, and have more access to these rainbow blessings that are coming in. Oh, hey, Aid. Welcome, welcome. I'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure, at our Soul Circle. I always do Soul Circle oracle readings after these collective energy readings, and then the Soul Circle folks end up going back. Okay. So Palglade Writers, I see your question. Alexandra, I see your question came in before that. So Svetlana, Alexandra, Palglade, Kashish. Yeah, Clara, none of that's making sense to me. So you're going to have to find a different question. That's all I got. I'm going to have to keep going. So Svetlana, what my life will be in 1 year, any changes? I'm not going to use Oracle for this, actually. Well, I'll use one Prism Oracle, but I'll start talking first. In 1 year, Svetlana, I see you taking better care of yourself. So in a year from now, I see you taking better care of yourself. And I see you in a sense, and this is, I'm here to be honest. And so I can only really be that. What I see for you is that you'll be more taking care of yourself. And at the same time, you may have some more periods of kind of isolation or quiet where you're sort of on your own, like I say, kind of hermit time or cave time. And so in 1 year from now, it feels like you'll be almost frustrated with the responsibility of needing to take care of yourself. You're like, okay, I'm doing a good job. I've been going through the motions, but there's still a level of like irritation or disappointment that that you're like yearning for more. And so my suggestion would be for you to do what you can to enjoy some of these personal and self-care rituals, and to really, so love-wise, like career-wise, I see it being steady, and some increase, right? So steady, some increase, but not something that's like massive expansion, right? And sometimes it's important to have these, I'm not going to call it stagnant because it's not really stagnant, but it's important to have kind of these more neutral times, because at the end of like a year from now, and I'm seeing like early next spring, you're going to be in like a, hey, something needs to change. I'm ready to go full in and do something totally different. But the only way you can kind of get to that place is by kind of doing the same for a little bit. So it does feel like that is kind of what the next year is about. It's like putting things in place, taking care of business, taking care of your basic needs and your self-care, and actually focusing in on those habits. So I see positive health changes. Love, I see some little influences here and there, but I do see kind of having a lot of irritation and frustration. It's like a frustration of needing to take care of yourself on your own. And so it may be also a year of learning how beautiful it is to take care of yourself. And then perhaps you'll end up next spring being like, I need to make a drastic change, and going on some trip and then meeting someone, right? It'll just be like, there's something that's going to change, but I don't think it's going to be right away. So Svetlana, that's your answer for what I see. And card wise, just to see what came out. Yeah. Frustration and protection. So it's like protecting yourself and actually taking care of the things you need, having clear boundaries, taking stuff out of your life that doesn't need to be there, and focusing on your health, protecting your body. And then that frustration piece, it's a square peg round hole. It's almost like, I just want to tell you not to be trying to force anything. Really take in that ocean ebb and flow energy and be okay with the isolation as it comes up, because it's such a gift to us. It really is. It's funny, as much as I love the idea of having a life partner, a best friend, partner in crime, power couple kind of connection, I already am like, ooh, I don't know. That isolation is so beautiful. And I think even no matter what, I'm always going to feel called to take that hermit time, that cave time, in order to deeply reflect and to be with myself and to kind of up level. And so it's sort of to me like getting things in line in a physical way, and then also really starting to get used to what that isolation time, really the value of it is. Okay, Alexandra, and then I will do Palglade Riders. I did say, Svetlana, there would be changes in your love life and that you're going to see some ups and downs. You're going to have some things coming in and out, but I don't see something. I don't see something a year from now as currently in there and making you excited. I see you having frustration towards it. So again, you can change also how you approach this so that doesn't need to be the reality that comes through. And this is a good time for me to say, actually, that I think with all psychic and oracle work, there's always a degree, and I've accepted this since I started, there's always a degree of humans being able to change the path that they're on. So I'm reading based on your current energy, your current trajectory, and how things will go from here as you are. And so if you were to apply great change, I would love to be like, wow, you're not frustrated, and it doesn't feel like a square peg round hole, maybe a year from now. And that could be only 5% possible. So I read on what the 95% is coming through. Sometimes I really love believing in that 5% of change and radical transformation. So I'm wishing that for you as well, Svetlana, because you don't have to be disappointed or frustrated. There's such a beauty to our solo and our alone time. Okay, Alexandra, relationship with Jess. In the past, he was leaving home many times and I made him stay. And over years, it was me who was splitting with him just to go back. What to do? This force, this is what I keep feeling drawn to talk to. The idea of force, whether last time I spoke about this energy flow of when you are in great connection with people and you're both drawn to each other and there's an attraction and a unity that happens, and then your energy is drawn and then it crosses over, you get what you need, and you move into division and then unity and division and unity. And we do this sort of dance, and it's like this sweeping thing, and you kind of go in and out, and we weave in and out. And a really graceful relationship and a really loving relationship makes space for these things, right? So I just said, probably befitting, I just said, oh, I love the idea of still being able to have alone time, isolation, art focused, hermit time, quiet time. And that would be a time where then a potential partner could feel division, right? Someone leaves, right? Someone leaves, and then there is some feeling of division. To not react poorly in that division is what allows the energy to then be drawn back to each other again. So there have been many times you have drawn this back, but what I'm seeing is it's like woof, woof, like way, way more out. And so it could feel like you're stretched thin. And what's important for you is, in order to be able to know what is right for you, you may want to consider developing your intuition, because this is how you make very important decisions in life. It's how I've gotten here and made all of these potentially very risky decisions in my life, and how they seem to be working out fine is actually by being aligned to your own true self and to your intuition, and to bringing all your soul parts back so you don't feel divided. Because the more unified you are in yourself with your own being, because we have this own internal energy that we do the same, and then in our connections we do this opposite and attracting type of flow. For you to feel totally in your own and be able to feel clear for yourself is going to be much more helpful than me telling you this is what you need to do. Because if I tell you what you need to do, you don't actually have to listen to me, and your brain knows that. Your brain absolutely knows that. It's interesting. Just as I said that, this is really strange. I was talking recently about how I triggered a prophet. If you saw those videos, let me know what you thought of them. I think I only posted a couple on YouTube so far, but the other ones are on my TikTok. And he calls himself the god of prophecy. And that's like quite a statement. And so it's sort of this funny thing that just came through, because I see his work as preying on desperation. And so I want to be very cautious not to, oh, I'm really glad you said magician, Alexandra. I'll definitely speak to that. Yes, 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 yes. I had that show up in a relationship a few months ago, actually. It was a really beautiful, changing moment. So yes, this weaving in and out, and then coming back to yourself, and then feeling like you are capable of creating the life that you actually want for yourself, with or without other people's influence, which I know is sort of like an annoying message, because that kind of also matches what I was saying to Svetlana, that it's like actually about embracing the love of yourself enough to build a life that you enjoy, that you're not running from. Um, yeah, Clara, your comments are very much not appreciated. They're very distracting. Anyway, Ringmaster of Scrutiny for Svetlana says discernment, clear vision, and details. And so I see this as being like about clear vision. And so, Alexandra, the greatest gift that you could give to yourself right now would be to allow yourself to come to a place where you're putting energy fully into your own spiritual journey, your own personal journey, your own intuition, rather than any stories, and not allowing any stories of the mind to intimidate or influence you as to what to do. Because really what feels the best is when we're able to make a decision totally from our hearts and from our knowings. Golden opportunity right here. And it says, important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. And I see it almost as like, if you stay focused on the relationship, you're actually going to be distracted by the rest of your life and where you're meant to go. So it's almost like you're seeing that you need to deal with the relationship first before you consider what you actually need in life. But it really needs to go the opposite direction. You need to actually focus on what brings you into your own personal sense of unity, because there's a little bit of like soul feeling divided right now, feeling with you, Alexandra. And so the idea is to go right into personal unity, so that then that draws however you're meant to come back into connection. And Alexandra, the future card you picked was Magician. Can I elaborate on this? And yes, the Magician is a tarot archetype that is commonly used for this, honestly, the same idea of creating. You are able to consistently generate. It's like literally pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You've made something from nothing, and you're able to create everything that you need in this lifetime. And that's the idea as well, is a magician actually is self-serving. I also see this being about your home and your situation, where you're going next, and this being of great importance to you, and the relationship almost being a distracting energy or distracting influence, which kind of adds to lack of clarity. And so personal unity is definitely where I'm feeling drawn to ask you to focus. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Palglade, because it's a really simple question, but feel free, Instagram or YouTube, ask me any oracle questions you have. I'm only going to be on here for another little less than 20 minutes because I do need to switch over to the Soul Circle oracle readings for all current clients and past Empath Energetics clients. I think the only value that I'm finding from Clara's comments right now are that it's probably helping the YouTube algorithm, because more comments help the YouTube algorithm send it out to more people. But let's just, let's stick together as the unified group that we are, understanding what we're actually here for. We ain't here for that. That's not what I'm doing. I don't like listening to demands. And I certainly won't. Okay. So Palglade Writers says, does wearing glasses boost confidence? And that's probably because in the beginning of this reading, I was talking about sunglasses being a minor form of protection if you were going into a really big room where lots of people are taking photos of you, and there's a lot of energy and everyone's waiting for you, and there's this big, exciting, yeah, thanks Kashish, you're the best. Casually moderating for me. I love it. And so sunglasses in this scenario were sort of symbolic of a little bit of protection. And what I find is that any type of accessory that has you feeling more like yourself does actually boost your confidence. I know for me, I've started wearing these blue light glasses because I need to be conscientious. I'm on the computers and screens a lot. I need to be conscientious not to, wear out my eyes or get migraines or things like that. So for me, it's boosted my confidence because I feel like I come into my artistic soul self a little bit to have sort of the ability to dress myself up and to be able um, to show myself differently. And I think there's a really magical quality to shape shifting. And so, Alexandra, but also Palglade writers, this is sort of to both of you. Now is like a really perfect time for shape shifting, confidence, and also image reflection. You may not actually end up changing anything about your image, but it's important sometimes to do a bit of reflection and self work, looking in the mirror and saying, do I feel like I'm looking like myself? Do I feel like this is who I am? And being really honest with yourself and just finding small, maybe loving or simple ways that you would improve that as well. Thanks, Kashish. Okay. And then, so I wouldn't say they inherently boost confidence, but I know I personally enjoy the feeling of just taking care of myself, and that helps me boost my confidence. It's like a self-love thing to put blue light glasses on and know I'm less likely to get a headache. So whatever you do that's putting positive energy into yourself, and I do recommend maybe some mirror work if you are interested in this whole image stuff. I was out recently and told that I'm quite a shapeshifter. And this is not the first time that that's happened to me. And I do really love that idea. There's something beautifully shamanic, actually, about the idea of changing shape in front of people's eyes. That you look different in this light or that light, or, you talk about this and suddenly you have a certain energy about you. And it's like constantly shifting and changing. And only people who are very perceptive will pick up on this shape shifting quality of mine. But it shows that there is like a constant moving energy, and that the way that you are reflected to others is also constantly shifting. And in a way, that almost brings you closer to who you truly are, to know that there are so many different ways other people could see you. You're only one person, but you're also everything. You're also capable of really being everything. Okay, that's a little ramble rant on confidence and glasses and shape shifting. I didn't expect that, actually. Um, Oh, Kashish, thank you so much. You're the best. I love having your energy here. Okay, let's answer Kashish's question because we're skipping Clara. Recently, okay, general question. How to know if anyone is performing dark arts or magic to you? Obviously, when you are on a good path, good energy will save you from the effects to some level. Hey, thank you for saying it, Kashish. So many people in these spiritual realms will say, oh, you've got a curse upon you and you need to fix it with this and this and this and this. And it's totally a scare tactic. And in actuality, the brighter you shine, the more energy you have, these things just ping off you. You're like Wonder Woman, right? It's like ding, and then everything just comes right off of you. My parents like to joke that I have a horseshoe up my butt because good things just happen to me, or I always fall on my feet, or land on my feet, like a cat. Don't fall. I always land on my feet, or luck is just a part of me. But I do not believe in luck. I think you put good energy out there and you get what you need back. And in a way, if you trust that you're protected divinely, then you will be, right? And this is a positive belief system that then shapes everything I do in life. So let me continue here. I will answer that. Recently, I fainted in the kitchen for, hey, thanks, Palglade. Recently, I fainted in the kitchen for no effing reason. Dad had to drag me out and the doctor was called. You won't believe, but I couldn't remember what day, year, or month it is. Okay. Last month in my dreams, I saw my one aunt who wants to do some rituals that she wanted your blood for. So here are some dark energies, right? But dark doesn't necessarily mean bad. There is a very primal aspect to this, and there's also like a very fear-based aspect to these things coming up, right? I have a strong feeling right now, what I keep hearing in my mind as I'm reading your question here, Kashish, it's quite an in-depth question, so I'll just speak to what I can. What I felt was reset. It's a hard reset. And I think back to when I was young, part of my spiritual awakening was that I had these seizures, and I didn't convulse, but my brain would just totally reboot. Honestly, it would be like a refresh. And what I feel this experience was man, Clara, you are demanding. No, thank you. And so Kashish, what I feel this is like a hard reset. Like getting to you're getting to a new, it's like turning a new page. You're flipping to a new chapter. Your dream was a warning for this accident. Yeah. So yes and no. I feel, and you might vibe with this, you might not. Your dreams are definitely, this is something I've specialized in. Before I did Empath Energetics, I had a dream course, Divine Dreaming. With this dream, it feels like, for me, the way that I'm seeing it, the way that I interpret it, it's that your aunt is a placeholder, and in a way, it's like a threat and like a sacrifice. And so it's like sacrificing, if you can picture this, it's like sacrificing yourself in a way where you can then be reborn. And it shows you a very kind of like sort of image to catch your attention. And that's all it is. It's just meant to catch your attention. You're still thinking about this dream. The dream gods did their job, right? So the dream is in your mind, and this dream is like, I need to protect myself. I do think there's an element to this of actually just staying in your lane, isolating as much as you need to make sure that you feel like you're doing the best that you can to live out your truth. And Kashish, you here specifically, you are here on this earth for quite a big journey. And that requires some really strong, clear boundaries about how you're going to use your energy and how you allow your energy to be used. And so let me make sure my laptop's plugged in here. I love the idea of growing a YouTube, but if we're going to have more people like Clara in here, no, thank you. We're almost at 200 people on the YouTube, which is so exciting. So nice to have like a lovely group of people to hang out with here. And so rare to have like, creeps show up. So I'm just going to say that's awesome. It's so awesome that like for the most part, you all get it. And you're all here. And you understand that this work is, for all of our soul's higher good. Okay. So, Kashish. Oh, I see this comment about Svetlana, so I just want to see this in case Svetlana didn't see it. Svetlana is such a grand, majestic, royal Indian name. I know it's not, but still, that's a beautiful name. 100% believe that this type of relatives do some dark stuff. So, yeah, because simple reason, jealous people cannot see someone's genuine hard work or success. So if you actually truly believe this, I'm going to ask you to press the gas down here, right? Step on it here. Instead of any level of fear at all that your family is doing dark stuff to you, tell yourself they are attempting to do dark things. They are not successful. They are not successful because you are doing so well on your journey and you are living your life in the way that you are meant to live your life. And so instead of playing into this potential fear that dark magic or dark arts and things like this are happening around you, that may very well be true in their mind. But if you do not acknowledge it as truth, it is not in your energy, it is not in your field, and you do not allow this and you continue to shine brighter. There are also, if you are interested in working with me in Empath Energetics or as a one-on-one, there are lots of things I can do to help you with increasing your energy, your levels of protection, and also specific things to deal with specific people where you do feel there's a bit of energetic entanglement. But let me be clear, you are the one allowing that energetic entanglement. No one can blow you over with force unless you're allowing of it. And while that's a very deep thing to actually get to the root of and resolve, I want you to know this is very possible for you. When I saw that dream, the next morning I said out very loud, "You came in my dream once, not again. I am pure. You cannot, will not be able to hurt me. That's it." Yeah, and it's important, right? Because but also non-reaction is a much more powerful statement in the wake of this stuff that isn't really actually affecting you. In reality, in your physical reality, it's not affecting you. What's happening is your dream is actually, and I really do feel, I want you to look at this also in this other way of instead of this personal the vendetta or resentment or however that would be sort of boiling down for you, also to think about this dream allowing you to be shaken and wake up to sacrificing yourself for your dream and for your soul path, and actually a rebirth for yourself, because this blood sacrifice type feeling for me is like a rebirth. And that's also what I feel with the hard reset of the fainting. So instead of any thought that someone caused you to faint, allow this to be a gift that you fainted and it woke you up. And when you woke up from being in your fainted space, you've actually entered a new territory. And in this new territory, that does not need to be a part of your reality. Kashish, you're just making me laugh. I love this. I love this. Yeah, really. It's just so rare. And, thanks, Kashish, for reporting Clara. Anyone else who's online, feel free to report Clara, because, I mean, it's not appreciated. There's a lot of other places you can go to get that kind of material. And my material that I'm delivering here is so much more potent, so much more powerful than whatever surface level ask that is. Okay, welcome, everyone. Okay, let me know if anyone has any more questions for me, any more oracle questions. And I'm happy to answer. If not, I will head off. I'm just going to pull a card for all of us. Da-dum, dum, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Yeah. Oh, some really, really lovely stuff coming up in the collective. I think there's going to be some beautiful changes where people just get thrown off their rocker. They just get thrown into like an entirely new way of being. And it's like shocking, I know I've been getting, ooh, look at this, rainbows and messages. And this is the second time rainbows came up today. So think about how miraculous rainbows are, and how much of a seemingly rare occurrence they are, right? Something that I find so beautiful about Scotland since I've been here is that rainbows are more common. And in Ontario, they're just not as common. It's like very rare for us to see one. And then, you're lucky if you happen to catch it. But here it actually happens a lot more frequently. And so I remember years ago, I mentioned, oh my gosh, the rainbows. This is so great. It's so cool. And they were like, yeah, rainbows happen, because it was when I was visiting here in Scotland. And I thought about that, for me, it feels so miraculous and so beautiful. I'm always going to feel that way because that's how it was in my childhood. Rare as in, yeah, so we have occasional rain for the last 2 days. Yeah, we've had kind of grayish sort of days the last 2 days here too. And I don't mind that. I find it quite cathartic. It's like a release. Nature is releasing. But yeah, so one of the things that I think is so beautiful about rainbows is that if you are not used to seeing them, or, if you're not used to seeing a lot of sun, even if you're just in a total cloudy, zone. I know here in Scotland, people get all excited when it's a blue, sunny day, right? We actually get a lot, but a lot of people, they feel like, oh, yay, I'm so excited, and to be just in that positive mood, kind of no matter the weather, is really the shift that I'm asking us to take and to make. Yeah, unfortunate for the mangoes, but we are not a mango, so we can enjoy the rain. Even though I know that's always how I felt with like early frost in Canada. I'd be like, oh no, the crops. But at the same time, nature needs to do what it needs to do. And for us to just be appreciating the blessings and seeing every moment as pure and rare and magical as a rare rainbow is such a beautiful energy to be in. It's such an uplifting place to be in. The way that I looked at rainbows, it was like being made fun of because I was like overly excited. But at the same time, I know that it had a positive impact on the people around me going, I guess it is kind of special. Oh, and if it is kind of special, can you just enjoy your life this much more? That's what I'm being asked to ask all of you to do this week. Step into yourself and enjoy your life a bit more, and also allow yourself to have this devotional time where you change your identity. That feels really, really potent. Alexandra, I'm in a freeze. How to come out of it? I'm going to pull you a manifestation card because I already pulled out this deck for a collective reading. And then I'm going to switch over to my soul circle folk. So I'm just going to leave us with these 2 manifestation cards. And then I will be back next Sunday, but I will also be back sometime later in this week because I want to do some love and empath oracle reading messages. And love could be whether you're single or in a relationship or in a situationship, whatever it is. But I did feel called to do some love and empath oracle readings sometime later this week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, but you'll see. I'll make a little notification. So if you're not following me on the YouTube, feel free to follow me over there. Yeah, and thank you everyone for being here. It's so lovely to hang out on a Sunday with all of you. And if you're interested in the Empath Energetics program or the Empath Energetics Scholarship, I will be releasing some videos about that later today. And I welcome you to just book a session with me, and we'll figure out whether it's right for you or how to allow this to work for you if it feels like something you're called to. Intuition development, self-knowledge, and archetype analysis, shadow work, light work, legacy work, pendulum work, energy expansion, learning about the healing process. There are so many things that are included in this 4-month journey and program that I've developed. This is the last one I'm going to be running for a long while, at least a year, I think, because I am being called into some other really big, exciting directions. But I do really want to do this one round of Empath Energetics before I shift on to some of those things more fully. And these other things are coming in way faster than I actually anticipated or that I've foreseen, which means I'm in pretty good alignment because stuff is rushing towards me beyond what I had predicted. And so I would love this next round of Empath Energetics to get started this month. And it will start when at least 5 people sign up. We've got 1 so far and a few people in the wings thinking about it. And I feel the other ones drifting and coming on in. So we will see what happens, but I'll start once we have 5 people and then welcome in anyone else who needs to join after that point. Okay, so Alexandra, how to manifest getting out of what you feel is a freeze. And I'm not going to admit that you're in a freeze because we are all constantly changing. And right now I feel you're on the precipice. As long as you focus your energy inwards and really take yourself seriously and your own desires seriously and listen to, you might want to go back and listen to this reading. This always gets posted under the YouTube live. You might want to go back and listen to this reading. This says, and my nose is starting to go, which means this is especially something you need to know. I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. So whether that is you connecting to your own internal guidance or working with a support, such as myself, to focus yourself on your own internal guidance, this is what you are being asked to do. And then we have the universe has big plans for me, and it's time to claim them. And this is not only for Alexandra. This is the entire collective of people who are watching. Even you, Clara, even though you're asking me weird things that I'm not going to do, I 0% am going to stand up and take my clothes off over this YouTube live. That's one way to get off of YouTube. 0% going to do that. The universe has big plans for me, and it's time to claim them. Claiming your own soul truth and claiming what is so true for you and saying, yes, I'm going to grab onto this and allow it to then manifest through me is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Kashish, I really see this for you. Alexandra, I really see this for you. Svetlana, I see this as the way that you can also avoid that level of frustration that I felt was potentially possible. Yeah, Kashish, we don't want to invite this. That's great. And so this is it, is if we're going to accept a new, a revived identity and a deeper connection to self, first, we're going to have to admit the ways we are not acting like our true soul self and the ways that we are avoiding and staying at the surface level. So take a deep dive. Remember the swan energy. It's time for a deep dive and time to have a beginner mind. Think that you are maybe at the beginning of what could be an entirely new chapter, an entirely new book, even if you wish to write it. Okay. I am really excited to announce the Empath Energetics Scholarship. I'll do it in a video later today. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that I'm wonderful. It helps balance out this weird energy. And then on this iris card, this rainbows and messages, I just wanted to say, it says, when it rains, look for rainbows. And when it's dark, look for stars. So keep looking for the light, everybody. It's here. And enjoy the rest of your week. Clara, you just get right out of here. Don't need you. And enjoy the rest of your week. And I will be back later this week for Empath and Love Oracle readings and talking more about the Empath Energetics program, which I'm really delighted to start. I do feel it's going to start in the next couple weeks. And it's my favorite thing to do within my work. And I've also started opening up for in-person healing intensive sessions here in Scotland. So if anyone is local to Scotland and you come across this page, this feed, then I welcome you to message me and we can set something up. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I'm going to go to Soul Circle. See you all later. Take care. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you.